Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Privilege Stacking series. And in the last episode, I talked about losing my pretty privilege and what that was like. And in this one, I want to talk about how you can gain your pretty privilege back after losing it. And I want to kind of talk about how I did that. And what a lot of people don't realize is that beauty requires discipline. So that's all it is. Beauty is just consistency and discipline and investment. So you're either investing time into your beauty or you are investing money into your beauty. One is not better than the other. I don't really like when people try to beauty shame you. Like they want to shame you because you spent more money or they want to shame you because you spent more time. That's just something that women do because they're competing with each other. They're only doing that because they're competing with you in terms of beauty and they feel like it's not fair that you had the extra time or it's not fair that you had the extra money. So never listen to someone that tries to shame you for your beauty strategy. Okay, so in the last video, I ended it kind of talking about when I realized that I went from pretty privileged to just being average or kind of like, blending in with everyone. So after that, that was when I decided that I was going to start working on my beauty routine and kind of getting my pretty privilege back. I didn't have any pretty privilege goals at the time because I just, I wasn't really focused on that. I didn't have the emotional strength to be able to have that much ambition with my beauty at that time. So back then, my goal was just to be healthy. I just wanted to get rid of all of the micro insecurities that I was facing. So I didn't have any money. That was like one of the brokest times of my life. This was back in my 20s. So I remember one thing that I did was I started researching online DIY beauty treatments. And I didn't have the money to buy any DIY stuff, but I was trying to research it because I knew that like with DIY stuff, some of the stuff you can that's stuff that you already have in your kitchen. So like lemon with sugar, like you can make a sugar scrub or, so I was looking for stuff like that. And I found that if you put baking soda with turmeric, that you can create a face mask. So I remember that was the first thing that I found. And I had some baking soda in my kitchen. I had some turmeric. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I had some turmeric in my kitchen. And so I started mixing that and I put that on my rashes. So I created this little morning routine where every morning I would get up, I'd drink my coffee, and then I would create a DIY face mask out of whatever was already in my kitchen. So like I would do little salt scrubs, little sugar scrubs. If I had any flowers or like flower petals, you know how you might have like some rose petals or some hibiscus petals, maybe you have some little lavender petals or something. I would try to just make whatever I could. So I started off by putting those things on my rashes, and my rashes started getting better. And then I learned about DIY baths, like making your own bath without using bath salts. So I learned that you could put like milk in your bath, you could put baking soda in your bath, you can put almond oil and stuff in your bath. So I started taking baths and stuff, and that was a way to try to help heal my skin and to try to help get rid of any infections. Like I looked up how to do a detox bath, like how to use items from your kitchen to kind of like put it in your bathtub and then it kind of heals your skin. So that was my very first step of gaining back my pretty privilege. It was just doing research and figuring out how to make use of all of the resources that I already had without having to spend any money. So that was technically free because I just used whatever was in my cabinet. Step two was I actually did an audit of all of my beauty products that I had in the house. So, you know how you always have makeup lying around, you might have hair products laying around, maybe you have some hair pills or something that you've never used. So I actually went through and kind of like decluttered, and I was looking through all of my makeup items and kind of putting everything out on the counter that was brand new that I had never used, and I had to make sure that it wasn't expired. So I would look up online, like, how long does it take for a lipstick to expire? And all of the stuff, for the most part, it was still good. So then I put all my new stuff out in the cabinet and I made it a goal to research each product and then start using those products. So most of the stuff that I had was like makeup items. And so I started looking up online how to wear a sparkly gold eyeshadow or like how to do makeup with it. I always have extra sparkly eyeshadows because I don't really wear sparkly eyeshadow. I don't know why. I just don't really wear it. By the way, comment down below if you are a sparkly eyeshadow girl, because for whatever reason, I just feel like sparkly eyeshadow, it reminds me of New Year's. And I don't really know how to incorporate glittery eyeshadow into my everyday appearance. So I had lots of eyeshadows, lots of makeup that I had never used. And I decided that as a part of gaining back my pretty privilege, that I was going to learn how to use the makeup because I didn't want to waste the beauty that I already had. Because that's one of the main things that you'll feel when you lose your pretty privilege. You will feel like, oh shit, I just wasted all that time. I took my beauty for granted because beauty is actually a blessing. It's a blessing to have beautiful skin. It's a blessing to have a beautiful, healthy body. It's a blessing to have beautiful, healthy hair. And so at that point, with me not having my pretty privilege, I just missed it. I missed every aspect of beauty that I had taken for granted before. So all of that makeup that I never wore, it's because back then I didn't really care because I was like, I'm going to look pretty either way. Like, who cares whether I'm wearing this makeup or not? So I had more of a wasteful mindset when it came to beauty because I felt like, whatever, I can always get my beauty from a different source other than makeup. But now, since I had lost my pretty privilege, I was like, no, I don't have any pretty privilege. So anything that is going to help me to elevate my appearance, I need that right now. So I took out all of my hair products and stuff and all of my beauty products that I had never used, and I made it a goal to start using them. So I would look up online reviews of all the eye creams that I had because I had some random lotions and stuff that I had never used. A lot of the products that I had were actually very good products, but I had never taken the time to really research them and learn how to use them properly and like how to incorporate those products in my routine. Hence why I lost my pretty privilege in the first place. It's because I didn't have a routine. So I gradually started gaining all of this knowledge about how to do makeup. I actually learned how to do all these different eyeshadow looks that I had never tried before. So, for example, I had never tried red eyeshadow before. I had never worn that because I always felt like, that's going to make it look like you have a bruise on your eye or something, like you have a bloody eye. Like, why would I use red eyeshadow? But I had some red eyeshadow, and so I learned how to use it. I learned how to do a smoky eye with it. All I had to do was blend it with orange and brown, and then it didn't look like I got a bloody eye. And so I learned how to do like fall eyeshadow looks. And then after that, I had found like some hair products in my cabinet. So some of them were halfway used. Some of them were like, there was only a little bit left. So I started using up all of my hair products until they were all empty. And it helped my hair to actually stop balding so much. Like, it helped me to stop losing some of my hair. And so that's what I did for probably the first month because I knew that I didn't have any money. And then after I experienced just a little bit of success, that small amount of success of having my rashes start to fade a little bit, that was actually a small source of validation. I was still like a 3 out of 10. Like, I still looked bad in general, but I looked better than I did before. And so it was encouraging because I was starting to become internally focused. So I was looking at myself to try to see progress. And one thing I actually did do too was I took pictures of myself, like pictures of myself looking bad, looking fat. I took pictures of my back, like to show myself like what my progress would be like. And then I started walking to the gym because my apartment actually had a gym, but I was too lazy to walk there because I was like, oh, it's hot outside. I don't want to walk across the parking lot. I'm already going to be sweaty by the time I get there. What if all of the gym machines are taken up? Then I wasted my time walking there. So I had all these excuses. And I lived in one of those apartments where it's like there are 500 people that live there. There are 600 people living there. So those apartment complexes where they have multiple buildings. And, like, I lived all the way at the very back of the apartment complexes. Like, I was in the last building in the very back of the parking lot. So the gym was all the way up in the front by the leasing center, by the gates. So it was literally like a half a mile walk just to get there. And back then, I was more embarrassed to be seen in public because I just felt like I looked bad. So I kind of got over that though because I was starting to look a little bit better. So I would put on my little basic t-shirt and my basic leggings that didn't match because at that point I still had bad clothes and stuff. And then I would just walk to the gym and I would go and do my little elliptical for like an hour. I would download music and stuff to kind of make it more fun. And then before I knew it, it kind of turned into like this little routine. And so once I started going to the gym, that was when I started getting the endorphins. And a lot of people don't realize how much endorphins actually affect your brain and your thinking patterns and stuff. And so when I was listening to the music and kind of getting those endorphins and stuff, I would usually listen to like Meg the Stallion when I was working out. Like she was my main workout artist that I would listen to, and I would just feel like a baddie basically, like listening to that. So then after that, I decided like, okay, let me see if I can find out some cheap ways to get like fake hair, because at that time I was still like pretty bald. And so I saved up, I think I had saved up maybe 20-ish dollars. And then I started getting like very cheap hair. So no, it did not look very good. Yes, I was getting the auntie wigs and all that stuff. Yes, I was getting the very cheap like shake and go types of wigs. Don't sleep on the shake and go wigs, okay? Because I just feel like if you're pretty, whatever you put on is going to be pretty. But at that point, my goal was not to have pretty privilege. My goal was really just to be better than before. So I was focused on myself. I wasn't like, oh, I need to look like a supermodel. No, I just wanted to look better than I did before. So I started getting these little auntie wigs. And as the months went on and I kept like DIYing different stuff, then I noticed that my health actually started to come back. My physical health started to come back. So because I had been researching so much, I also started researching different supplements. And I found out about all of these body detox supplements. Basically, I was looking up home remedies to help me to overcome the symptoms of my illness. And I actually found multiple home remedies to where it actually helped me to get my health back in order. So then, once I was no longer sick, I felt like I had solved one micro insecurity, because it's like, okay, I'm no longer like losing my hair, and you know, like I have more energy now and stuff. So that was cool. But then I needed to get my entire body back in check, like in terms of weight and stuff. So like I said, I was not obese or anything, but I also was not as skinny as I was used to being. So one of the ways that I had ended up gaining weight was because I was eating sweets every single day. So I started to realize that I was doing a lot of emotional eating. So I was eating with the intention of getting endorphins. So instead of just getting endorphins at the gym, like before I started going to the gym, I was searching for an emotional high by eating a piece of cake. I was searching for an emotional high by eating a cookie cake. I love cookie cakes. If you know what a cookie cake is, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a big, gigantic chocolate chip cookie. It's like 13 inches long. Like it's really big. It's like a big circle, like the size of a pizza. I would eat one of those in one day. Like that's how much I was doing, basically like binging. I mean, I was being a big back. That is big back behavior. That is beluga whale behavior, eating an entire cookie cake. So I noticed that I would eat when I was bored. I would eat when I'm celebrating. I would eat when I had a good workout. You know, like eating was just always tied to endorphins for me. So if I'm in a good mood, I eat. If I'm at a birthday party, I'm going to eat. If there's a good TV show coming on and I'm having a movie night or something, I'm going to eat. So everything I did to celebrate was revolving around eating. So I had to kind of change my mindset and to stop thinking of food in that way. So one of the ways that I gradually started doing that was I would just look up on Pinterest alternative recipes or like healthier versions of treats instead of eating a cookie cake. So at the time, instead of eating those giant cookie cakes from Walmart, I started eating the protein cookies. So they don't taste nearly as good, but you're still kind of getting the same sensation. So I would eat that, and it has protein in it. So at least you're not going to want to binge and eat more sweets, because a part of why people eat so much sweets is because their body is not actually getting any nutrients. So your body's like, try again. Something else that I did to gain back all of my pretty privilege was creating a beauty schedule for myself. Do you have any sacred beauty routines from your cultural background? I actually just learned today that if you boil hibiscus leaves and if you create a spray, like just with water, it actually prevents your hair from graying. So I learned that from the Indian community. That kind of knowledge just comes from me researching. I'm not Indian, but if you have any admixtures in your background and maybe they have some cultural practices, or you're just interested in learning about different cultural beauty practices, you can actually incorporate that into your routine. I told you guys about how once a month, I will just pick a new part of town and I'll drive there. Like I will pick a new grocery store. I will pick a new cultural part of town. Like, okay, let me go to the Latin side of town. Let me go to the Arab side of town. Let me go to Chinatown today and just see what's over there. And sometimes I will just browse their beauty aisles and I will actually take note of what ingredients are in their beauty products, like snail, like the snail slime and stuff, or like pearl. I never knew that pearl was like really a thing that people like to use, but pearl actually works really good for my hair. I would have never known that had I not started kind of studying like other cultures and what kind of beauty ingredients they use, because sometimes African American products don't work for you, you know? So maybe like Indian products will work better for you. Maybe your body or your hair or your skin will respond better to Asian beauty products. I've noticed that Asian beauty products for the skin, they seem to work better and they're also cheaper. So it's like, you can find these things out just by taking the time to create a schedule. So it's essentially like habit stacking. You're creating all of these hobbies and you're making it a sacred routine so that it's fun. Because when I first lost all of my pretty privilege, like, yeah, of course it's going to feel overwhelming at first because you have a long way to go. But if you just do things one day at a time, and you just take it one micro insecurity at a time, like, okay, this month I'm going to work on getting better at makeup. Then next month I'm going to move on to my hair. Then after that, I'll move on to nails. Like, you can just break it down into little tiny micro habits. And that way you're not super overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I have to lose 70 pounds and then I have to fix my teeth and I have to get a surgery. No, you don't have to do all that. You can just do it one thing at a time, and then you can create new beauty goals as you level up. So one of the beauty hacks that also helped me to gain back my pretty privilege was joining other communities of beautiful women. So these could be Reddit groups, it could be Facebook groups, it could be YouTube channels like this one. By the way, if you guys like when I talk about this topic of pretty privilege and kind of how to create your own beauty strategies, let me know in the comment section what else you want me to talk about. But that is something that helped me, though. It was joining a bunch of beauty communities. So if you are working on like getting rid of acne, you can join skincare groups and stuff and kind of learn hacks about how to get rid of acne. So I just went one by one for each body part. Like, I learned how to do makeup, so like face. I learned about hair, and then I moved on to like skin. After that, I moved on to like my teeth. So learning different hacks about how to whiten your teeth naturally. Like, you can use baking soda if you don't want to use the teeth whitening gels. Like, if you don't want to buy those, you can use charcoal. If you go to TJ Maxx or Ross, they have the fancier charcoal toothpaste. It's like $5.99 there. So I found one. This was like a few years ago. So that was back when I was working on that. So one by one, you can just start to tackle each thing. Like, let's say you have crusty elbows and knees. You can actually, they have creams where it's specifically formulated for your elbows and knees. It's like this special cream. Sometimes they have like shea butter in them and stuff. So it's basically like a stronger, more moisturizing cream that you can put specifically on your elbows and knees to get rid of dry skin. But I started curating my own little beauty strategy. And if you have any specific days when you're off work, you can actually make that into your self-care day. You can be like, okay, on Sunday, like on the third Sunday of the month, that's when I am going to dye my hair. So I actually used to have a hair routine. This is back when I would wear my hair straight sometimes. So I would straighten my hair on the first of the month. And then the second week, I would wear it in pin curls. Then the third week, I would wear it wavy. And then for the last week, I would wear it curly. Just naturally curly, like in a wash and go. So that was my little natural hair routine. That was the cycle that I would do for my natural hair. So one thing that I have used is moving in cycles. So if I know that the weather is about to get cold, okay, that's good because that means I can restore my skin from all of the sun damage that I did over the summer. Like, if you get a lot of sunspots and stuff, let's say you struggle with like freckling, sunspots, your skin gets burned, it peels or something. So you can actually work with the seasons and be like, okay, I know that the sun is going to go away once it hits September or October. And so that's when I can really work on doing some aggressive skincare, like doing a lot of shea butters and stuff and taking all these baths. I also started kind of planning out my diet and working with the seasonal like fruits and vegetables and stuff. So every time I try a new fruit or vegetable, I will start researching on that vegetable. So I will look up like, what are the different benefits of this particular thing? Like, what are the different benefits of papaya? Papaya is actually very good for the skin. Papaya is high in fiber, so it's going to help you to go to the bathroom so you don't have undigested boo-boo in your gut. So every time that I learn about a new fruit or vegetable, I will research all of the different ways that I can use it. So it's basically like getting into natural remedies. That's another way that I kind of restored my pretty privilege. It was learning all the natural remedies for how to get rid of hair breakage. I learned that like my hair really likes Jamaican black castor oil, only on my scalp though, not on my actual hair, but my hair likes Jamaican black castor oil. My hair really likes rosemary oil and essential oils in general, coconut oil, just basically any natural oil. But I also learned that my hair likes mineral oils and petroleum and all the ones that you're not supposed to use, like grease and stuff. My hair likes those things too. So I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have taken the time to like experiment with it. And another thing that I would do is I would experiment just in the house. So it's low stakes. Nobody sees you. If you mess up on your makeup or something, you're just experimenting at home. And then if you don't want to feel like you wasted your makeup, take a couple of Instagram pictures, take a couple of dating app pictures, take a couple of selfies and post them on Facebook or something. If you truly do want to just capture that makeup look and you want people to see it or something. Another thing that I told you guys about was how I will try out new makeup looks and then I would go on a hike, because my makeup's going to get sweated off anyway. So who cares if it looks bad, or like if it ends up not working, it's not a big deal. So yes, I will try my blue eyeshadow or like green eyeshadow or something that looks kind of crazy, or like I'm not sure if I want to wear it in public, but I will kind of test it out when I'm wearing it just to the park or something, because going to the park, that's a very low stakes environment. Nobody's going to walk up to you at the park and say, "Excuse me, your eyeshadow looks really bad." No. But if you end up looking in the mirror and you don't like how it looks, at least you were only at the park. So if you're going to experiment with different beauty looks or hair colors or like something that's kind of crazy that you don't normally do, you can do it in a low stakes environment. I love to experiment with fashion when I go to the grocery store. So if I have a shirt and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I like this shirt, I don't know if I like this color, I will wear the shirt to the grocery store and then I'll see how I feel. Like, do I feel cute in this or do I feel like I look crazy? So you can just do it in an environment to where it's not like you're going out to a gala or something. You're not getting your picture taken. No, it's just at the grocery store. Because you have to remember that beauty, it's supposed to make you feel carefree. You're not supposed to feel stressed. If you feel stressed out, you're doing it wrong. If you feel stressed out, it's because you're putting too much pressure on that particular thing. You don't have enough sources of micro validation in terms of beauty. And you're looking to receive all of your validation from the shirt or from the makeup or from your natural hairstyle or whatever it is. So you don't have enough diversified sources of beauty yet. So the way that you can kind of build up to it, basically you have to build up to it over time. You can't go from being super overweight and obese to like being Beyonce the next day. No, you're going to have to be a work in progress just like everyone else. There's no such thing as perfection. So that's one of the things that I had to remember when it comes to beauty. There's no such thing as someone who is perfectly beautiful 24/7 and they never have any breakouts. They never are bloated. They never get sick. They never have a bad hair day. Their hair is always perfectly moisturized. No, there's no such thing. Everybody ages. Everybody has a period. Everybody has PMS or bloating or whatever. You have to remember too that beauty is not a competition. So you don't want to keep measuring your beauty in comparison to someone else. You can use that person as your muse. Like you can take inspiration from Lori Harvey or whoever. If you like their hairstyles, you can get inspired by them. But you don't want to try to be them, if that makes sense. Like you're not trying to copy them and like, oh, I want to replace you. It shouldn't be something like that, because remember, beauty is abundant. You want to have an abundance mindset. The earth in and of itself is filled with beauty, and so are you. So you want to have multiple sources of beauty. Just like how you have multiple streams of income, you want to have multiple streams of beauty. So let's say my body is not looking very beautiful right now. Back when I was overweight, I knew that my body was not going to satisfy me. You know, that was not a stream of beauty for me at that time, because I knew that my body was not where I wanted it to be. But my face and my makeup, maybe not even my face itself, because my face was actually chunky, but my actual makeup itself, like the eyeshadow blending that I did, that was a source of beauty. The way that I did my nail art, or the way that I did my pedicure, or the way that I got rid of that scar on my arm, that was a source of beauty. So you have to start with micro versions of beauty. And remember, it's a source of micro validation. And then as time goes on and you start to heal all of those micro insecurities, one day you're going to look in the mirror and realize, oh my God, I do look like how Lori Harvey looks. Oh wow, I do look like an IG influencer. Another thing that helped me too is creating beauty priorities. So asking myself, like, okay, what's most important? So if I could only choose 3 parts of myself that were beautiful, what would I choose? For me, it would probably be my face, my hair, and my body. I would choose those 3 things. I would want those 3 things to be beautiful. So whatever your beauty priorities are, there's no wrong answer, but you get to pick, like, okay, what's most important for me in terms of beauty? Like, if I have this one thing down in terms of beauty, I'm still going to feel beautiful. So for me, that's my body, that's my fitness. So that's what helped me to realize, okay, I need to invest more money then in my diet, because I can't just eat pizza every day, because clearly my priority, like eating pizza every day, goes against my beauty priorities. So that's something you have to remember too. You have to be strategic. Don't let other people influence you to do stuff that goes against your beauty priorities. You're too pretty to eat the whole entire pizza. Your body, like, the more pretty privilege you gain, the more protective you're going to start to be over your body, because you're going to start being like, oh no, I can't go back. I don't want to go back to 175. I don't want to go back to 185. I don't want to go back to size 12. So the more beauty you gain, the more protective you're going to start to be over your beauty. And that actually ties into like the divine masculine, if you believe in that. That's the best way I can describe it. So divine masculine, the way I see it, is that has to do with boundaries and discipline, and just kind of knowing how to have a regimen for yourself. I don't want to say you're treating yourself like a drill sergeant or a military person or something, but I am talking about like just having a sense of discipline. So it's like, no, I want to protect the beautiful body that I have spent 2 years building. Like, however much time it took you to lose that weight, you don't want all that time to go to waste. So I really wish someone would have told me that you can't outrun a bad diet. I really wish someone would have told me that by eating a giant piece of cake, I am wasting my workout. I am wasting my workout. So for the people who say, no, if you lift weights, your body is still going to be burning calories afterwards. Okay, but then if I go and eat a piece of cake, and then if I go and eat burgers and stuff for a week after that, I just wasted my time, because now I'm behind, because I just gained extra weight because I ate an additional 2,500 calories. So that is something that I wish somebody would have like told me, or that's something I wish I would have known, is that if I eat bad after a workout, I absolutely wasted my time, because I'm 30 pounds skinnier now, and I work out less. And that's because of my diet. It's because I choose to eat fruits and vegetables. So like today, what did I eat today? Today I ate an avocado, I ate a pineapple. I don't know what else I ate, but I basically ate raw fruits and vegetables today. So like spinach and stuff like that. So yeah, you cannot outrun a bad diet. Another way that you can gain your pretty privilege back is to come up with creative ideas and come up with like a rotation. You can do a beauty rotation. So if you get bored with doing makeup, that was how I kept it exciting basically. So I never got bored with makeup because I was not always focusing on makeup. Sometimes I would be working on my makeup skills. Other times I'd be working on like skincare skills, or learning about how to deep condition my hair, how to balance the protein and the moisture. So I had all of these different like diversified streams of beauty, kind of like diversifying your streams of income. Because I know for me, I want as many streams of beauty as possible, okay? So I want beautiful skin, beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, beautiful lips. So that means I want my lips to be full and soft and moisturized. So yes, I do have a lip scrub. I actually got my lip scrub from Five Below. So it was like $4. So I went and got the little Wet n Wild lip scrub. So yes, I want as many streams of beauty as possible. At some point, it's going to be very hard for you to look in the mirror and hate yourself if everything about you is drop dead gorgeous. It's going to be very difficult for you to have low self-esteem in terms of your appearance. It's going to be very difficult for you to think you're ugly if you look in the mirror and every piece of your body from head to toe is objectively not ugly. Another thing I like to do is browse online and keep up with new innovative beauty treatments and stuff. So I was never interested in Botox and stuff like that before, because I didn't know what it was. I thought that Botox was like a surgery. I didn't know that Botox is basically where they're just freezing certain muscles and it essentially stimulates collagen in that area of your face, or at least it does for me. So I started learning about different things like Botox, fillers. So even if you're not going to get a particular treatment, it's still good for you to just kind of learn about the beauty industry because you're a beautiful girl, right? You're a part of the Pretty Girl Club. So a part of Pretty Girl culture is being knowledgeable about beauty culture. So if you want to be involved in beauty culture, you literally have to learn about it. So you can start to kind of look up like what is cryotherapy. Like I just purchased a cryotherapy session. Cryotherapy on average burns an additional anywhere from 2 to 800 calories. It strengthens your immune system. Like there are so many different things that cryotherapy benefits. It helps your inflammation in your body go down. It kind of helps with like recovery time and stuff if you're an athlete. So you can start to look up like why do people get lymphatic drainage massages? Why do people use like the Fraxel laser and like what is that? What is an oxygen facial? So right now I'm actually in the process of kind of learning about different types of facials because I'm considering getting those. Like I said, I'm trying to prevent from having to rely on things like fillers. Like I'm too scared to ever get fillers. So knowing that I don't want fillers, I have to look up other ways that I can keep my face looking as perfect as possible. So that could be facials, it could be micro needling, it could be chemical peels. I'm too scared to get a chemical peel. I might get one on my body though. I was actually looking into it. I asked the lady at the laser hair removal place, and she was saying that chemical peels, they're really good if you have like rough, dry skin. So if you have like dry skin around your ankles or like on your knees or your elbows or the nape of your neck or something, or if you have like a really rough patch where you used to have eczema or something, I know that they do chemical peels to help get rid of like a lot of dead skin buildup. I don't know. I'm just kind of learning about stuff like that. I try to always keep up with the different trends in the spa and beauty industry. I know a lot of people think that spas are a scam, but I feel like that is subjective. Okay, so I personally think that a lot of massages can be a scam, but there are some women who swear by massages because they feel like it helps their body to kind of like depuff and debloat itself. It helps them to lose weight. It helps them to recover better after a workout. So just because I don't like something, it doesn't mean that it's invalid. But I also added a rotation of kind of diversified spa treatments. And this is for those of you who are kind of saving up a little bit of money. Maybe you have a monthly beauty budget. Like for me, I try to save up a few $100s so that I can like go online and, purchase a new beauty treatment if that's something I want to try. So like this week, I'll be going to the spa. I've got some cryotherapy coming up. And, that's just a part of my beauty rotation. I don't want to only be doing one thing like, oh, all I get is Botox and then I rely on Botox or something. No, I don't ever want to be that person because that's how people end up with pillow face. It's from only relying on filler. That's how people end up botched from plastic surgeries. It's because they only relied on plastic surgeries. They did not diversify their streams of beauty. So they kind of exhausted, they overexerted their beauty routine in one particular area. So I'm guilty of this. Have you ever done one beauty routine too much to the point where it hurts you instead of helping you? So for example, the lace fronts. That's a good area where I see a lot of women overexerting themselves. So instead of growing out their actual hair, or instead of growing out the front of their hair so they can do a half wig, or instead of learning how to do pretty braids or some other hairstyle, no, they're over exhausting themselves in one particular area of beauty because they don't know how to have beauty in any other way. That's the only beauty method that worked for them, or like maybe that beauty method worked one time, so they swear by that and they feel like, oh no, this is my holy grail hairstyle, like this is my one and only hairstyle, I can't do anything else. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you just have to be careful because I do believe that there's a such thing as kind of like overexerting yourself or being too reliant on one particular beauty treatment or enhancement. I don't ever want to become that person. Like, so when it came to eyelashes, for example, I told you guys that I recently decided I don't think I'm going to get eyelashes anymore. I got them a few times. I think I've had fake eyelashes done at the salon, maybe like 3 or 4 times. And so I've noticed that like pretty much all 4 times I didn't really like it. So I only liked my eyelashes like once, and then all the other times I end up getting frustrated or feeling like, oh, this was a waste, or like the eyelashes fell out. So now I have decided that I'm no longer going to rely on getting my lashes done at the salon. So I'm going to actually spend the time over the next month or so learning how to do my own cluster lashes and do them like really well, and be able to sleep in them and stuff so that they last a few days or whatever. So that's what I'm going to be spending my time doing, because I don't want to overexhaust myself when it comes to mascara. Because with the mascara, I used to use a whole bunch of mascara, then it's hard to wash off. And then, like, my nighttime routine, it takes too long. And then when I'm working out, sometimes the mascara would run down my face. Then I have these huge black marks on my face. I had to figure out which beauty routines work for my lifestyle. Every woman has like a different lifestyle. So for me, I'm very active. I go outside a lot. I go swimming a lot. So I can't rely on mascara when it comes to my lashes. Like, that's not going to be a permanent beauty solution for my eyelashes. So I think cluster lashes are probably going to be the best option for me. But that's something that I'm kind of like negotiating with myself right now. I don't know. I'm kind of deciding that right now. So now I just have to figure out where to purchase my cluster lashes from. I bought some lashes on Shein not that long ago, but I did not like how they looked. But I also got the strip lashes. I didn't get the cluster ones. So maybe they have cluster lashes on there and I can get some of those and just use those. But those are the types of strategies that you're going to have to think of when it comes to your beauty. So when it comes to nails, there's a reason why I don't wear acrylic nails. It's because acrylic nails do not go with my lifestyle. So I rub my eyes a lot. Like, I have allergies and stuff. I rub my eyes in my sleep. I'm scratching my eyes sometimes if there's a lot of pollen outside. My eyes can water with the wind and stuff. So I just feel like my fingers are always near my eye. So when I had long nails, whenever my natural nails grow out, I always end up clipping them because I always poke myself in the eye, or I scratch myself in the eye, or I scratch myself on the face, and then I have this little scab, and then people are like, oh, what's that? So I just realized that long nails in general, whether it's my natural nail or acrylic, that just doesn't go with my particular lifestyle. I'm also very active. I do stuff outside. I do outdoor yoga and like just all kinds of stuff to where I just don't feel like it goes with my life. But for you, maybe acrylic nails go with your lifestyle. Maybe you are an office girly. You know, you do a lot of stuff in the office. Maybe you do a lot of typing or something, or I don't know, maybe it just goes with your aesthetic. So all of those things are a part of your beauty strategy. There is no one size fits all way to be beautiful. So you get to decide like what your priorities are for beauty. What are your top 3 areas where you want to be the most beautiful? So like I said, with me, my body is number 1. If I'm obese, I notice that I will struggle with depression. If I am overweight or if I'm having a lot of struggles with my weight, I will cry. I'm the type of person that I will cry. If I truly ever became obese, I do think that I would start crying. Or like if I was genuinely struggling really bad with my weight, I probably would cry. So I know what my triggers are. What things make you feel ugly? Because whatever makes you feel ugly, that tells you what's most important to you in terms of beauty. So if acne scars make you feel ugly, okay, then that means that your number 1 priority should be to prevent acne scars at all costs. So that means that you should be willing to pay money to purchase the skincare or to go to the dermatologist, or maybe it's your teeth or something, having bad teeth or yellow teeth or crooked teeth or something. So maybe you're the type of person where you have to invest money to get your dental work done. Or if you can't afford to invest a lot of money, maybe you can start off with some braces. If you're too embarrassed, maybe you can just get braces on one row of teeth, like maybe not the bottom teeth, maybe just the top teeth or something. I don't know. So your beauty strategy is up to you. And this is why people worship beauty, because people subconsciously know that beauty requires discipline and strategy. Because what works for somebody else's face is not going to work for your face. What works for someone else's body doesn't work for your body. So if you see a woman who's very beautiful, this means that that woman has spent time studying herself. She has spent time studying her own body and figuring out what works for her, what diet works for her, what hair highlights and hair colors work for her, what type of makeup look works for her. Some girls look really good with soft glam, kind of like Lori Harvey. They look very good with that makeup look. Other girls look good with like the Asian beauty looks, like the Douyin makeup look, kind of the K-pop makeup look. Some women look good with super glam makeup, like Angelina Jolie. Some women have a high visual weight. What kind of visual weight do you have? Do you have high visual weight facial features? Do you have low visual weight? Do you have broad features? Do you have keen features? All of these things, like all of this knowledge, is required in order for you to manifest a high level of beauty. Anyway, have you ever lost your pretty privilege and gained it back? Because if so, how did you do it? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.